Okay, back with two tables of 5NL Zoom. Haven't played a lot since my last session. I think it was about Saturday or Sunday, so I haven't had too much time this week to play. But I got some time now. Plan on moving up to 10NL within certainly by the end of the year. Um, definitely got the bankroll for it. Probably got the bankroll for 25NL. It's just whether or not I've got the playing skills at the moment. We get 3-bet on both tables here, so I think going to be folding. 9-10 of clubs. If either of these two call, I will call, but if they don't, out of position, I'll just fold. Now that he calls, I think that this probably does become a call. Bit loose, but with the price we're getting, with a hand that certainly has some potential, we can call. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bet very small. I don't think with a player behind him that this guy on the left here can bluff too much. So if he does raise, I think he just clearly has an overpair. But if he has a hand like ace king or ace queen, I don't see that he can do a huge amount with it. And that works out nicely. Just fold the trashy hand there. And we get called. We get a nothing board. I think we'll just go half pot. Yeah, it doesn't shock me that we'll get check raised. Maybe we should start checking behind this board that's that dry. Hits him far more than hits us early in the session. I'm not going to get into a big pot with no hand. Just let it go. King, queen of clubs. I think we can go either way here. Earlier position raiser. I think sometimes just calling is fine. Does let you leave you open to getting squeezed from the blinds. And here we're just going to 3-bet with our aces. We're going to check behind with the king queen. And I think we're just going to check it, try and get it to showdown. Nice river. And now we can just bet, try and get value from like jacks or something. Here I think we want to bet reasonably large. We're clearly just playing for stacks, so just want to size up so that we can get them in on the turn, I think. So we're going to go a bit bigger. And look, if he's flopped a set, there's not very much we can do about it. We have to go. Okay, he's got jacks. Hopefully we can hold. Are we going to cash out? 90%. We're being offered slightly less. I'm a wimp. I always just cash out in these spots. I think, is it too wimpy? Should I stop doing it? The equity there, 104. So there's call it 150. I think they offered us 133. So 130. So how about 134-ish would have been par? I think that still makes sense to cash out when they're offering you that. I'm convinced that the cash out does make some sense, although it is pretty wimpy. Maybe in those kind of spots, I've just got to grow a pair of balls and just start clicking resume hand. But anyway, it worked out nicely. Trash on both tables. Opening up a very nog a hand up. Maybe I shouldn't on the left. Then we're definitely going to be giving up on this board. Well, I'll just bet really tiny now. And here I want to maybe just bet a little bit bigger. Give my hand a bit of protection. And I don't see any real way we can win unless he has maybe just some random nonsense. King 5 or something. King Jack. Okay. We're actually winning on the turn. Okay, easy folds. Again, we'll play about 300 hands or so. Most of my videos have been about that length. Videos are getting anywhere between sort of, I don't know, about 20 and one got about 100 views, which is not bad. I'm not expecting a huge viewership for some random guy on the internet playing 5NL. And I think here we're going to 4-bet with ace queen. And this seems like a reasonable sizing. It's the one of the best hands, I think, to 4-bet bluff with. You can't really cool off with it, but you're blocking a lot of the strong hands. Obviously, you're blocking pocket aces, pocket queens, and we'll just bet tiny here with our king. Certainly could also check this hand. And I think now we're just going to continue to bet small. Ace Jack, we're pretty deep against this guy. I think we're just going to call it. Nice turn card. Eights against min raise, we'll call. And I think we just go for value here. Don't see any reason to do anything else. We could check and try and induce a bluff, but I think a lot of time people are just going to kind of shut down at that point. Eights on the right. Clearly, we're not going to do anything now. He just blasts into that many people. Just want to hang around though sometimes just to see what people have got. This is a 5-way hand. Not anymore, it's not. And closing the action here with 7-8. Cool. 3-4-7 king. Sometimes I think we want to check back, and this seems like a perfectly good hand to do it with. This does hit him more than it hits me, and certainly could go either way. Playing it a little cautious. Really nice river, you would assume. I think we actually want to go for an overbet here. I think we're gonna, if he's got like 7-6 or 9-8, I think all of those hands call, perceiving because of the 2 flush draws out there. This may well be a bluff, but I waffle away, and my opponent just quickly folds. So blind on blind, king 9 of diamonds in position. Cool. I think we'll go for a large bet with the 6s on the right. King 9 of diamonds, no pair, no draw. Maybe we'll be giving up quite a bit on here. If he has a lot of weak aces, hands like that, they're not going to really be able to continue. So we'll go for a stab, and it does work. Quick call, and a board that generally we're going to quite like. Just an ace high board, and we raised pre. We've got bottom pair here, but this doesn't seem like a spot that I really need to call. We're not going to know what to do. We have got a guy behind us, so we're not even closing the action, but I'll just see if I can see what he's got, but I can't because the other guy folded. And go with a 3-bet with ace 10. This is, you know what, this is actually just starting to become a little bit loose. I'm going to just tighten up from the small blind. Yeah, I think it's going to be a profitable play generally, but when you get called, it can be a real sticky spot. So I think probably playing at these limits, you just don't need to be three betting with those hands. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. I've done it quite a bit and it has worked. It's a higher variant play, I guess is what I'm saying. Queen Jack against a guy playing a smallish stack. I think we just have a call here, and if we flop top pair, probably going with it. With a spade, we might continue, but without one, we're not going to. Going to, yeah, we'll get a three bet and a three bet. Quickly call, Jack 6-6, and we'll check these back. I'll check them back over here, and we'll just try and get this to showdown. Nines on the left. I think we're going to have to call once. I guess now we can go for some fairly small bet for some value. He can have like fives, sevens, those sorts of hands. He's checked three times. And now on the right hand side, I think we're just going to have to give up. Yeah, I mean, if he had check raised there, depending obviously on the sizing, I think I would have called. It really wouldn't have been believable to me that he would check a better hand three times. Jack 10 off, one of the weakest hands. I'm going to open the cutoff. It's probably a little loose, but yeah, the pre-flop stuff, people are playing so tight that I think you can open pretty liberally from late position. 7-8 of hearts, throwing a call on the button. Guy in the big blind doesn't have a particularly big stack, may well call as well, he does. He immediately pots, so we're just going to be folding. Deuces we would have called if this guy just called. I think here we're just now going to have to fold, not closing the action. About a third of the way, a little more through the session. Only the one really worthwhile pot so far, the pocket aces against pocket jacks. Other than that, it's been getting fairly quiet. A lot of the sessions play this way. There's just isn't that much action. You can often tell the quality of the card you're getting by your score. I don't know. You probably can't see on the screen this how many points you get, which is determined by the quality of the cards you get. So if your point score is high, it means the cards you're getting are good, basically. And if they're low, it means the cards you're getting are not that great. My score at the moment, 2,500 after 125 hands, is not that high. So I think that signifies the cards I'm getting have been not particularly good. Although I have had aces and kings, so I can't really complain. It's not been the most interesting so far. Sevens on this board, just going to give up. On a king high board, generally very good for the razor. And we'll just go for a third continuation bet. Make up here with the king seven off. Yeah, I thought he might be lining up a check raise, but he doesn't have. With the king of spades, I think we'll call here. I am just generally folding to these because the check raising, people don't check raise enough. But I'm not sure how many hands he's going to actually be check raising there. Yeah, he can have sets of threes, sets of fours, but is he going to, if he going to have king, queen, king, jack as well? Might have 5, 6. Is he going to have like ace 5 or just total random bluffs? I don't know. Probably not. So just be prudent, be patient. We flop middle pair on the right. I think this is quite a good type of hand to check back. You don't really want to bet and get check raised off your hand. And obviously we're just going to be calling this bet. Going to be ahead quite a bit, and if we're not, we still have plenty of outs. That's not one of them. In fact, that's a really crap card. Now I think we just have to fold. We really just don't beat very much. It's hard to think of many bluffs he can have. King 10, perhaps something like that, but almost everything else gets there. So when we've checked back on the flop, rather than just doing the standard third C bet, it hasn't actually worked particularly well on the whole. People then firing the turn and firing the river. 10-5 of spades in position, I think we can call that. We immediately get potted into. So some guy pots it, and you got no pair, no draw. Generally, you just want to give up. Okay, jacks. So I think the starting hands don't seem like they've been that bad. Yeah, guy defends from the big blind again. I think we have quite a good candidate for a check back, and that's a really nice turn card. So we're kind of hoping probably he leads here, and we'll definitely be going call this time unless he goes absolutely berserk. I think against that sizing we could probably raise, but maybe we'll just raise the river instead. Certainly be betting the river. Or if he puts, depending on the size of the bet, we'll see what he does. Big bet we just call, small bet we probably raise. Against the check, I think now we just want to go 75%. I think we get called by an 8. Maybe we can get called by a 6. So I was just busy saying that the check back line wasn't working, but this time it did. King 6. So we got the maximum. Now, Namtastic, I played against him before. He likes to do enormous bets. Like he will bet sometimes all in into tiny little pots. I've seen him do that. He's done it against me. In fact, he did it against me once when I'd actually flopped the nut flush, which was kind of nice. Like that kind of thing rarely happens to you, that someone just blasts all in when you to a tiny pot when you've actually got the nuts. But I remember him doing that. Three bet the queen ten of clubs and take it out. It's fine. Talked about rat holing before. I generally rat hole when I get to 200 big blinds. Below that, I tend not to. And we'll go for a check with the ace king. King Jack will defend. Certainly could also 3-bet. And here, I think we just call with the Ace King here. I don't think I want to raise. Probably just going to call once and then fold a lot of turns, but we are drawing at the nuts, which of course we don't hit and we get a shit turn. Here it's a large bet. I'm just going to call with King Jack. Ace King. I think if we bet here, we're just going to get called like a huge amount. So I'm just going to give up. Hope he has like King 10. King Jack, we have a call here again. And depending on sizing, probably going to have to just check and call again. Kind of didn't want to see a big bet there. Fortunately, we didn't. What did he have? He had Jack 10, so he did actually have a worse Jack. 3-bet with the Ace King. Sevens against a guy not playing full stack. I think actually here this is just a hand we want to be calling with. Now that he checks back the flop, I think his checking back range is going to be very weak, and I think he's going to have a lot of Ace X here. So we're going to bet big, and then we're going to check pretty much all rivers. Okay, got a 3-bet here with Ace King, and if he 4-bets, we will be going over the top because we have a very strong hand here. Blind against, button against big blind. 6-7 diamonds will defend. We'll check and fold. We'll go for a small c-bet here. Now a check, that's obviously not a very good card. We don't really want to keep betting. We block bet here. I think if we do, we get called by weaker kings. So it's actually quite thin. This is getting pretty thin, actually. Maybe we just check. Try and pick up a bluff like Jack 10. Yeah, I don't know about that. It's just if we bet, there's just not a lot that can call us. Jack 10, so he did have the missed straight draw and he just chose not to bluff with it. Like I say, Jack 10 off. One of the weak stands we raise in the cutoff. Going to get called a lot by the guy in the big blind, I think. No, not this time. Nine of clubs, he's 4x'd my raise. It's just a fold. It's not a great hand to call pre-flop re-raises with 8-9. Some reverse implied odds against Ace King. I raise. Oh no, so there is a limper, so he's just ISOing. And now I'm tastic. I'm just going to fold this. He does play strangely, yeah. I wouldn't have even shocked me if he went all in there. Whenever we've paused so far, we haven't actually had an opportunity to see what anyone's got because none of these hands seem to go to a showdown. Yeah, it's very, very, very cagey, isn't it? Very tight post flop. Ace 8 spades, we will. This is a little bit, we'll go slightly larger because we're a bit deeper. It also means when you get four bet, people's four betting ranges, I think, are very, very tight. Now we have ace king on both tables. This is definitely an either against an under the gun raise. I do think we want to squeeze this. We get called, we don't get a particularly attractive flop. I think he's going to have a lot of pocket pairs that he called with that he's not going to fold now. So I think we're going to check. We're going to call some bets. We do have the ace of clubs, so I don't think we're necessarily going to. There's quite a large bet with half pot. I just think his range is absolutely jam-packed with like pocket pairs. Could even be nines or sevens, so we could be basically dead. A bit wimpish, but I'm just going to fold. I think people are sufficiently tight where you're just not going to get bluffed that much. And ace king, a bit nitty, like I say, but easiest just to throw it away. Ace king can be a really irritating hand because it looks strong, but that happens quite frequently. You squeeze with it. You get called by the guy who called the original raise. You then flop absolutely nothing. And what do? Do you just start blasting away with it? Feels kind of dirty. Here with the overpair and gut shot, we're going to call. I think when he bets here, he's often going to have an overpair, but he can certainly have like a big ace on this board. Bad turn card. He keeps firing. I don't want to just start calling down with this. I think just simply too often you're going to be up against a big pair. So again, like the way these games play, I said it before, like nittiness begets nittiness. When people's bet so infrequently, when they start ploughing chips in, you have to really tighten up because their ranges just aren't as wide as perhaps either they should be or they are at some higher levels or as high as they would supposed to be in a solver. It's not like people at 5NL, including me, play anything resembling what solvers would play. We're just generally playing fairly tight conservative poker with the occasional lunatic. Fairly easy call here, Queen Jack of Diamonds. And we do flop a flush draw. And over here we flop top pair. I'm going to go ahead and check that. I think he's going to check back a lot of strong aces here, so I think we can just bet here, and that line will probably get him to hope could even get him to fold hands like kings. We've got queen jack, so the odds of him having queens or jacks is quite low. On the left, I guess we can go for just a little block bet, try and get called by like fours and fives and things like that. But he raises. It's just not a spot where I'd expect to see too many bluffs. Like, are people going to turn like threes and fours into bluffs? Check, 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 raise river. It does look a little bluffy. Eights against this, we're just going to call. Expect to see quite a few give up. If you just bet, if he checks here, I think we're going to call once here, but I don't see just a huge number of bluffs. It's a lot of times it's just going to be an overpair. But the eight of spades would be lovely, dealer. The eight of spades, dealer. And if he bets again, we will just fold. Yeah, it's people. Idea people are tripling off again with ace king. Even if you had ace queen, he's now made a pair of queens. Maybe the turn call is just burning chips because what tends to happen is if people have ace king or ace queen, they don't fire the turn barrel. So that can be a leak in these games for me. Just you make two calls, which on the surface make some sense, but if people aren't bluffing enough, then the calls stop making sense. And we'll go for a little ISO here. We'll just fold 6-10 off. Slightly loose on the right. We haven't really done much of this today. And we get called from the big blind. And we get nothing on either table here. But when they both check, this might just be too loose, but we'll go for it. And we'll call for the one big blind here. Well, now we actually do catch a jack on the turn, and we catch a 10 on the turn here. I think we do want to bet here, but try and protect our hand against the draws. And he can have a boat here. We are not guaranteed to be good by any means. And here we're just going to go for a small bet with our 10. Yeah, I don't actually know if we can go that big here. He has like 7. He has like a hand like, I don't know. Maybe maybe about half pot is okay. And he folds immediately. So maybe he had hearts. I think he would have taken maybe a little bit more time if he'd had a hand like 7s or 8s. In fact, I think they probably would have called. So I guess when he folds that quickly, hearts make some sense. So we got pretty lucky there. And ace jack, don't really want to squeeze against another gun raiser and cooler, so we will just call. Flop nothing, but again, one of these boards where the under the gun raiser is generally not going to like it. And we're very much going to like this turn, so we're just going to lead. We're going to, on a double flush draw board, we're going to go quite large. Get called. And I think here we do want to bet, because we can get called by ace high in this spot. King jack or queen jack, so we want to bet. Yeah, it doesn't shock me. So it doesn't shock me that he had that hand. So we play about 30 or 40 more hands. The video's getting a little long. And we get a small raise here, so we will go for the 3-bet. Just make it, I'll make it just triple his bet. That's my general rule. Triple when you're in position, quadruple when you're out of position as a basic rule of thumb. And we get 4-bet, and this is one of the reasons like I don't always love 3-betting 9s. I'm not going to call. So I've said before, 4-betting ranges just so tight that going to be burning money with 9s. Ace 9 of diamonds. Here we'll just bet reasonably big. The board we're going to like quite a lot as the pre-flop raiser. And I guess we can now slow down because we've actually got a pair of jacks. I think we now can hope that he just try and get this to a showdown. He doesn't have to have a king when he calls the flop. I don't think I can really bet. I think I can win quite a lot, but I don't really think I can get called by worse. He may have had a hand like 8-9 or 8-7. Not sure if they call a bet. What did he have? Oh, he had pocket 10s, so we got very lucky, and he didn't 3-bet those pre-flops, so it's a little bit weird. King 10 offsuit. King 10 suited we definitely raise. King 10 off, probably a fold. Queen Jack off to a 2.4 open. It's definitely going to be a call. Excuse me. And to a large bet, I think the easiest thing to do here is just a pitch. And we will go for a small C bet on the left. And I would bet large on this turn quite a lot, and I'm going to do that now. So I think we can go for value. It's going to be annoying if he's floated the flop with like Queen Jack or something, but we can get called by a 10 very easily. Yeah, that's really, really irritating because he should he be calling that flop? Was that too greedy? He hadn't. Yeah, I don't know about that flop from him. He's got no pair, no draw. Pretty damn fortunate for him. Bit unfortunate for us. Maybe we've got a little bit greedy with the river bet. Hey ho. It's about 10 more hands or so. Okay, we'll sit out the next hand on both tables. And we'll open up this ace queen. And we'll call a position with the ace deuce. Well, we flop two pair here. I think we're just going to bet a little bit larger. Like if he has a hand that can call on that board, he'll probably call a reasonably large bet. We get a fold and ace deuce on that board. Just going to fold. Okay, so we're up, I think, about half a buy-in. What's that? 12.59, 12.62. Yep, so we're up $2.62, which is not gonna pay off the mortgage, but half a buy-in's an okay session. If anyone's still watching, I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye bye.